Hey guys, this is Simon from Fateless. Today we're going to be talking everything alpha. So yes, the alpha is on track, and today we're going to give you all of the dates of the different waves of alpha and what does that mean. I'm also just going to talk to you generally about the alpha and what you can expect and not expect, I guess, because it's really important to understand it is an alpha experience. It is not the final game. There will only be the caverns as your game mode to play. You will be able to collect heroes through gaining them through loot rather than through like pulling them through crystals. You will be able to level them up, develop them, build out fun squads, and play against a couple of unique bosses as well as a couple of kind of like ramped up enemy bosses as characters. So a bunch of things you can do, but there'll also be a bunch of things which won't be involved. So let's start with dates. This is what a lot of people have been asking for. We've stayed on track. I actually wanted to deliver this information to you in June, so I guess I didn't stay on track. I'm one day late to my promise. Sorry for that, but hopefully you do appreciate, even if we're late, we do communicate really effectively in the Discord and try and keep you as up to date as we can. So the first alpha wave is going to launch on the 23rd of July. We're currently actually doing a friends and family wave right now, which is like 100 players, just doing a bunch of the testing to make sure there's not any glaring obvious bugs that you guys would run into. So we kind of like work our way through that. That wave actually for friends and family includes people that really understand these games. Yeah, that are basically people that either work on the team or we know really closely. And it also includes people that don't really understand these games and can kind of just give us some feedback as generally a player coming in with no knowledge of what these systems should look like. So that's really interesting for us. So the first actual alpha is going to be on the 23rd of July through to the 3rd of August. We're probably looking for about 5,000 players for that. The second alpha will be 13th of August to 24th of August. Now, in between the two alphas, there's a bit of like a bug fixing and tweaking time for the devs to make some bigger changes, really. During the alpha, we're going to try and keep the game as clean as possible without making changes, unless they're literally like game-breaking things. So we'd kind of like store up a bunch of those changes, and then we implement when we have this kind of like off period. And then the final alpha, this is going to be the competition wave. So if you haven't already checked out the video where I talk about going alongside Squidmar, who is a 3D kind of like miniatures painter and expert, he's going to be making us a diorama of Fafnir in its caverns, and then the winning team for Alpha Wave 3 on the leaderboards is actually going to get their team in the diorama facing off against Fafnir, and the winning 5 players are actually going to be flown out to Las Vegas to Verko's Vault with some of the team and see the diorama in its home in Verko's Vault, as well as have some fun shenanigans out in Vegas and get to play GODFORGE super early, that type of stuff. So lots of fun stuff going on with it. There'll also be prizes and rewards for anyone who takes part in the alpha. Mainly cosmetic stuff is where we've landed. But there'll be a bunch of cool things that will be unique to alpha testers. And then there'll be like scaling up rewards for like top 1,000 players, top 100 players, that type of stuff. Again, I'll do that in a different video once we've got all of that completely finalized, but it's going to be pretty fun, juicy stuff to get involved with. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, final wave is 3rd of September through to the 14th of September. Anybody who's ever signed up for the original kind of like beta sign up or any of the alpha sign-ups will be invited to that wave to play. We basically want that as our stress test wave. So everybody who's played in both Alpha 1 and Alpha 2 will be invited to play. So what's really important to us during the alpha is to get as much feedback as possible. And for that, we're going to need everybody who's participating to be in the Fateless Discord. There will be sections set up with a bug reporting bot, as well as a general feedback kind of like loop coming in through the Discord. We will have a QA team basically in that Discord, bringing the bugs through, making sure they're new bugs, and recording those, as well as recording a whole bunch of feedback. For those that want to be involved in a more detailed daily survey, we would really love for that to be the case, asking for your experience in things like boss fights, you know, going into your different heroes and how it feels to develop your heroes through, whether it's through just kind of like upgrading them, whether it's through ascending them, you know, whether it's through gearing, all that type of stuff. Like, it's really important to us to understand how you find that, and where you find things are either maybe a bit dull, or just not working as you thought they would, or they don't have the depth you want to them, or you're not getting that kind of like buzz when you're doing it. Like, all of those type of anecdotal bits of feedback are really important to us as we move from alpha towards like full release at the end of the year. So that survey, we'd love to have as many people doing that on a daily basis as possible, and there will be rewards for launch for those people that do get involved and take that extra effort to do the survey stuff. So that's really important to us. Couple of things around devices. Okay, so you will be able to play on PC, on Mac, on Android phones that have got a memory of 6 gig or higher. Okay, and then on iPhones, we can get iPhones working. In fact, they are working already, but we do have a stipulation with iPhones because of the way iPhones kind of like tier up their exclusion policy. So we can do iPhones again on devices which have got a memory of 6 gig or higher, which would include things like the iPhone 13 onwards. But iPhones don't let us do that type of exclusion. They basically say you either exclude by phones that have got a minimum of an A12 chip, which actually includes a lot of 4 gig devices, or you do a gaming tier, which is basically the iPhone 15 Pro and higher. For the alpha, we need to do the second one, because a lot of the devices in the option A, the minimum A12 chip, they would fail, and it would cause a lot of frustration with players. So bear that in mind. Also worth bearing in mind that to do iPhone, we have to release a dev build through a program called Test Flight, and actually we're only allowed up to 10,000 players on Test Flight at any time, which means that we're going to be sending out an email over the next day or two asking you some questions. Okay, so we're going to say, which wave would you prefer to be in? And I would say to you, I know everyone's going to say I want to be in wave 1. Just think for a second. Wave 1's going to be the most ropey wave because it's going to have more bugs than wave 2. Also, we want 5,000 odd players for wave 1 and a lot more players for wave 2, probably like 20 to 30,000. So I would ask you, if there's not a particular reason why you want to be in wave 1, then at least open it up that you would be okay to be in wave 2. That's one thing. And then also we'd invite you all to be in wave 3. So we're going to ask you, what wave do you prefer to be in? Which device would you prefer to play on? And then we'll also include a short survey, which would be really, really helpful to us to get your feedback. So we're going to be sending those emails out today. Once we've got those replies back, so please reply, we will then confirm which wave you're going to be in on a separate invite email. That will be nearer when the wave goes live, with information about how to download the build, you know, how to access the builds, all that type of stuff. So I guess we have to do it through email. We'll have support in Discord to help you with this type of stuff, but do kind of bear with us, and we need to bear with you in terms of getting the information back. Please check your spam folders for this type of stuff. So I have been testing a lot. I've been playing the game a lot. I found out some cool bugs. I've also had a really fun experience, honestly, like really fun experience. We've been able to build out a bunch of different heroes in my kind of like first 30 levels of the cavern. I actually got myself onto the internal leaderboards. My first legendary drop was Drac, which is super sweet. And yeah, we're going to have around 65 to 70 heroes actually in the alpha experience. We started to get all of the icons in for the heroes that are going to be part of alpha. Gearing is working with the different set bonuses and the stat gain, and everything like that is working. Drops for gearing is now sweet. In fact, let me do a quick run through of a level with my team. So you can see here I'm on stage 30. Things like the challenges are working. So every level is going to have a challenge for you to earn 2 stars. Defeating the first level will give you 1 star, and then defeating the second level will give you 2. And then each of the levels really is like an idea of, right, we'll come here to farm a specific thing. So this could be gear. You get champions here. Some of them will give you like resources to be able to awaken your heroes. Some will give you resources to be able to, so there'll be like leveling. There'll be sort of higher gold drops for leveling your gear. You'll have areas like here for God Steel to level your weapons. And then there'll be stages where the main drops are weapons. So we tried to make it so that the tower has got a bunch of different directions for you to spend your energy in, okay? We also got some fun stuff around how energy works. You won't be getting 5 million energy. I've turned on a cheat mode here, but let's fight. I don't know, who should we take on here? Asarg, let's try this. So let me bring in my kind of like main squad. I think Leonidas can come in, Drac. Maybe we'll go Guan Yu and Dagonet here. Fresh first time playing today, so who knows if there's going to be bugs. I'm going to start it to 1 times, but obviously 2 times is what most people will be playing on. So I could go auto. That works absolutely fine. Let's do a Drac. Buff. Stroke. Bleed my own team. He gets bonus damage from the amount of bleeds on the battlefield. Let's get our mini defense down here going on. You can see kind of like with details exactly what this does, but my Dagonet here has given me defense down on the team. I didn't press the right skill. What an idiot. Okay, we're going to AoE hits. Nuking them down. Leonidas coming in with the swing. Love it. On to wave 2. Cruising. I'll tell you what I will do. I'm just going to throw on ultimates just so you can see some of these ults. So Leonidas has basically got the spear throw. So places drain 2 on all enemies for 2 turns, then attacks all enemies. He's lining them up. I wonder if I got enough accuracy to place the drain 2. No. Let's get on with Guan Yu's. Actually, let's do a Dagonet's ult. Single target with cleanse buffs off. Let's get a Drac one in there because it looks so freaking cool. Empowered. The slash. Basically, he would be cleaning bleeds off of enemies there to nuke them down. Super cool. And then Guan Yu's ult. Oh no, I've got Drac going off again. Drac, take a chill. Let me use Guan Yu. So let's turn those off again. Anyway, the game is in pretty good shape. Different viewpoints are working absolutely fine as well. So you can see here, this is perhaps what most people might be used to in terms of more like a raid Shadow Legends view or some of the other gotchas. And we're still working on this view a little bit, but it is there. We've also got this kind of more like viewpoint you might find in Etheria Restart or King Arthur working as well. So yeah, basically however you want to play it. But I've got to say, I am digging the sort of cinematic view. I just think it looks freaking awesome to play. So the game is feeling pretty good. If you've got questions about the alpha experience, about anything I've said in this video, or generally want to just come and talk things GODFORGE, come and join the Discord. We hang out in there all the time. We're always chatting. We're always answering questions and giving more information, as well as maybe leaking some new stuff that's coming down the line as well. But yeah, we are hard at work to try and make this experience as strong and fun as possible for you guys. So yeah, look, I've been Simon from Fateless. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the alpha. See you soon.